Well, I don't know about you, but I kind of liked that game. It wasn't perfect, but the final score was pretty. And some people are going to say, and have of course said, that BYU's kind of beat up, not at their best, and that's true. Of course, neither is West Virginia, and it's about time that we caught somebody when they weren't at their best instead of catching everybody just when they were hitting a pretty good peak and getting some guys back from injury. Now, the ugly part first. I do not know what was up with the penalties. I do think a couple were kind of bogus, but even when you take those out, it's a lot. It's just a one-game spike. It's not indicative of a problem with the players or the team or the coaching, but it is something we cannot afford to repeat against Oklahoma. We can beat Oklahoma, but we will have to play a cleaner game. Now, looking at a few particulars, on the defense, one of my questions was whether or not the defensive line would get pushed. They got pushed. It was against a questionable line, but it was a lot of push, and it came from everybody. I mentioned, earlier video, we hadn't heard much from Martin lately. We did. That stunt by Vesterinen, where he went all the way around to the far side and was in front of Ratzlaff when he tried to scramble. That was defense. Wondered about, with linebackers, would they play free and fast? Yes, as best we could tell. They weren't getting a lot of the tackles because of the types of passes being thrown. But when we heard their names, it was for good things. And Cutter ate that screen pass. I enjoyed that one a lot. Koba got some pressure again. We were seeing him, hearing, so the linebackers ticked the box. Would the safeties tackle better? Yes, sir. The whole defense tackled well. I think there were 2 missed tackles, maybe 3. And 1 or 2 of those the offensive player earned. But overall, the tackling was sharp and the hitting was hard. Receivers dropped a couple of passes because of the hit. And I think both the receivers and the quarterback were starting to think a lot more than they should be. So it was the hardest, sharpest, most solid defensive outing of the season. It was not against the best team in the universe, but we played well, and it showed. We have to find ways to repeat that. Of course, we did get some guys in as backups tonight. Gave some of the starters a little bit more of a break. Hopefully that's going to help. As far as I know, we didn't have any serious injuries. I didn't see Clement back on the field, so I don't know if he wasn't ready or if they just held him out because we didn't need to depend on him. That swings me around to the offense. We scored 37 points. We should have been more in the 45 to 50 range. It was a good offensive performance, but it wasn't all, you know, I mean, I had some concerns. Green stepped back a couple of weeks worth. He started mighty slow, missed some receivers. Now, one or two of them could have been caught, but they weren't easy catches. They weren't on the mark. Then we got a penalty to extend the drive, and that was enough to give Green time to get on track. He sharpened up for an extended time. We did go back to this thing of starting slow, in the second half. Kind of understandable when you've got that big a lead. I think the offense lost their edge for a while, but they did refocus and make one more good drive with Green in there. Once Markiel came in, of course, we're looking at almost entirely the too deep. The offensive line was replaced. So, we didn't do great. We had some gains, but had some problems. Understandable. Would have liked to have seen the guys do a bit better, but they're young. Would have liked to have seen Oliver get some runs, but Johnson did deserve the opportunity. Even if it was getting hit a lot because it was the number 2 line. And I don't think Johnson will stick next year. He's going to slip on the depth chart. He's good, but Donaldson, White, and I think Oliver are better. So, and Johnson had a good game. He's had some health issues, but he has not shown enough to play ahead of those guys next year. And I think the same with Anderson. Anderson has not had a good season. So I think Johnson and Anderson will hit the portal. And I think they probably should. They're good enough to be playing or starting at a lot of schools, but not with the running back room that West Virginia has, especially when they have another year of experience. Don't know for sure about Hubbard coming in, but if he's like what we've got in the last 2 years, time for some guys to move on. Hey, a quick break here. Just asking you, please subscribe, comment, click the thumbs up, and share with your friends. Back to the video. Green did not have to run much. Took a couple of hits. Not, super bad hits, thank goodness. Hey, he had opportunities to throw downfield, and he did. He hit better on some of the scrambles than he did when he was, in the pocket. And of course, I like, we went for it on 4th and short and threw deep. I like the call. A lot of people, of course, have wanted, Brown to go for things more often. Well, he did. They missed. But it was still a good call. Thank goodness it was not a close game where that play made the difference. I think maybe it was a case of going for the kill shot, so you do it. If we had been, behind or close, I think it probably would have been either a short pass or a run, but hey. Green did make the most important throws, and he generally made good decisions. And, of course, as usual, he really nailed some of the throws. So I'm not down on Green. I'm not down on the offense. I do want to say that, hey, people are kind of singing about the offense this week, and there were some weaknesses. There's still some things that we have to clean up if we want to win out. The talent is there. Preston Fox is everything the coaches were saying Preston Fox is and would be. Those were two sweet catches tonight. So, you know, overall, receivers, running backs, Donaldson missed some catches they probably should have had. Hard to call some of them drops, but there were some where missed time to jump, not quite seeing things well enough, and maybe not making quite enough effort on at least one. And that was Carter. I don't know if he didn't see it well, but he's up and down. Did some really good things. Not that fond of one of the misses. And of course, the running game was sweet. And it sure helps when the running backs have a lane. It doesn't have to be a big lane, but they finally have lanes. You know when to make the cut when there is something there to cut into. And we sure as heck found out that White does not need more than a crease, and he will be through it. Almost gone 2 or 3 times, and I know Justin Cruz will be still looking for that. I think I heard him holler once or twice there, yeah. And of course Donaldson running hard. Donaldson running like we want to see Donaldson run. Special teams. Well, now, of course, they returned to kickoff for a touchdown. Penalty brought it back, but you cannot ignore they got it. That's a problem. Kickoffs kind of got weird late. Early kickoff coverage was good. And Oliver, that tackle was sweet. And it does show, Donaldson said that Oliver can run 22 miles per hour. I believe it. He got down there in a hurry, and he made sure the guy stopped. He went from going going horizontal to, okay, never mind. It was a good special teams play. I look forward to seeing more of Oliver in the future. I do hope he gets a few runs this year. So overall, I'm pleased. I'm happy. I'm blue and gold all over. But some of it wasn't smart. Some of it wasn't sharp. And we got Oklahoma coming up. 7 o'clock Eastern is the game time next week, if you haven't seen that already. I'm not sure what network. But we get another night game. A win like this earns it. We will have to play not perfect against Oklahoma. And Oklahoma has certainly shown that they aren't perfect. But we cannot commit this many penalties. Green and the receivers have to pick it up a little. Green was making progress. Of course, like I've said before, nothing is a straight line, so ups and downs are understandable. He needs to have one of his biggest ups next week. And the receivers have to all play like Preston Fox. If that happens, the defense stays sharp, fast, and angry, we could win. I hate to say, hey guys, we could win out. But hey guys, we could win out. I'm not going to predict a win against Oklahoma. They will be a heavy favorite. I want a strong game, clean game, smart game, hard-nosed game. I want to win, but I want to see the team play clean and well. And then we start talking about the weeks after that. Right now, keep celebrating the win, 37-7 against BYU. Then can start thinking about Oklahoma. And I'll start thinking about Oklahoma. And I'll talk to you later. So long.